Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praises, honor, glory, respect, and blessings to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakha Kwadash. Salutations to the Lord's elect on the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth and sincerity while patiently waiting for Yahweh Shai's return. And double honors to our apostles and elders, the great millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. And welcome to another series of current worldwide events being brought to you by the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. The latest thing that comes in the news as touching worldwide events or global events is Chinese warships coming within yards of a U.S. Navy destroyer.
This Sunday morning with a Fox News alert, a Chinese warship coming within 150 yards of a U.S. destroyer in the Taiwan Strait in the latest Chinese provocation in the region. U.S. Indo-Pacific Command slamming their Chinese counterparts for maneuvering in an unsafe manner.
China says it's monitored the two ships but made no mention of the close call. This comes days after a Chinese fighter jet did its own unnecessary aggressive maneuver by buzzing around an American recon plane.
All this as the CCP cracks down on activists as today marks the 34th anniversary of the Tiananmen Square massacre. 8 people were detained accused of disrupting order in public space. Hong Kong used to host some of the biggest vigils to honor those killed in the infamous pro-democracy demonstration. Instead, this year, a pro-Beijing carnival was held where those vigils used to take place. Good morning and welcome to this edition of Fox and Friends on this Sunday morning.
So you pretty much heard the news right there, okay? Basically, the United States is basically being provocative towards China, you know, doing drills in their seas or whatnot. I mean, come on, we know how the United States does, man. You know, they'll provoke China and some of these other countries into making provocative actions. Now, for almost a decade now, China has been warning the United States not to invade their space, not to basically come into their territory. And yet we still got Navy destroyers over there around the island of Taiwan. Okay, we got the U.S. destroyers sending out many ships. Okay. So China responds with, and what would appear to be the latest news, China responds with flying air jets, close by, United States, destroyers. So as we may know, tensions are ramping up, and China is not happy with the fact that the U.S. is basically interfering with the whole situation of Taiwan. Let's go to Habakkuk, okay? Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 4. We'll just start there. Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not of right in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Okay, so the soul which is lifted up is not of right in who? These Edomites, because they were created to be the wicked. They were created to disrupt peace on the earth, go into other people's territories, police the world, and basically try to control the world in wickedness, because that's what Edomites do. Habakkuk 2 and 5. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man. And here comes the key point: neither keepeth at home. You see that? They never keepeth at home. Okay, here it is. You call yourself being a United States military, but you have military personnel in many of these different countries, such as having 50,000 plus troops on the borders of Iran. You got troops in Europe. You got troops on the borders of Russia. You got troops in Africa. You got troops in the Middle East. You got military garrisons set up in South Korea. And then you got Navy destroyers over in not just Taiwan, but on some of these artificial islands of China, which China clearly told you to stay away from. So these Edomites don't know how to stay in their own land and mind their own business. They're always in somebody else's Kool-Aid. Like, you get what I'm saying? They're always in somebody else's Kool-Aid, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as deaf and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. And then the last scripture I would like to get is this right here. Okay, Matthew chapter 24, verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. You see that? These are the words of Yahweh, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus. He said, you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. And that's what we're seeing with this whole situation between China and the United States U.S. destroyer. And now what do we see? We see a Chinese warship coming within yards of a U.S. Navy destroyer in an attempt to give them a warning. Look, get the fuck out of Taiwan Strait, or we might react, which is where you get those wars, rumors of wars from.
He's from Hello Mood. I've been trying Mood products for about a...
Okay, so I'm gonna finish up in here, then I'm gonna close it out. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. You know, and of course, we don't get trouble when we hear about these things. If anything, we rejoice, because it means that we're that much closer to Jacob's trouble coming and Yahweh's return, you know, being there in the midst of Jacob's trouble, you know, when the nuclear war breaks out. So with that, I'm gonna say shalom, is on to the next one.